Welcome back to another week. It's marathon training week as always. This week is a little bit different than the other weeks just because this week is my birthday and I'm also traveling a lot this week. Yesterday was my birthday. It's Wednesday now. I really haven't been recording much this week. Actually, I haven't recorded at all this week because I've just been busy. The runs that I have gone on, it's just been better just for me just to like not take the camera, just using them as very quick, go get some stuff done, and then just also allows me time to think and reflect and do some stuff like that. So I really haven't been recording anything, and I don't even know if there's gonna be a run in this video. We'll see. Like I said, this week has been very crazy, very hectic. I was in Houston Sunday. Yesterday I was out and about. I'm actually about to leave here in a little bit too. I'll be out most of the day tomorrow, coming back, and then this weekend I'll be gone as well too. So it's just nonstop, and then we'll get back more into the training rhythm next week. But I also did want to put up a video as well, this week as well, just keep the flow going, and kind of explain more about what I do in this training period as well too. This week as well, I haven't really talked much about the gym. I've been going to the gym still, my normal 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, doing that, just going out there and getting my stuff done when I can. And this week it's actually a regression week at the gym. I've been building in a lot on the gym, but Emily, my strength coach, she told me to regress. So basically what we're doing is all the same workouts that I've been telling you that I've been doing. We're doing 3 sets of 15 now, because last week we went up to 3 sets of 20. Now we're doing 3 sets of 15. We're decreasing it by 5, and then we'll up it next week. Either we'll up weights or we'll up the amount of reps, and I don't know. We'll see what she decides. I let her tell me what to do on that. So that's that. Another thing I wanted to talk about as well is kind of some of the recovery part that I'm doing, and what all that entails. I've shown you the Normatecs, the jet boots. Another one that I also use is the Normatec, the Hypervolt. I actually have 2 of these. Well, I have the Hypervolt, which is this one. Then I have another brand one that they're percussion massagers, and what that means is it's almost like a jigsaw, and it just goes up and down, and so it hits your muscles, and it breaks up all those knots. So I use these a lot on my legs, hamstrings, calves, the inner thighs, quads, things like that. I mean, you can use it anywhere, and what it does is you just push it and it'll vibrate back and forth. So yeah, you just put it up against your muscles and let it do its thing. So yeah, this is another one I use. I try to use it daily, and basically work out the kinks, because I have a lot of tight muscles, and so this helps break it up and helps relax them. Another one that I use is what I like to call a home torturing device. It's a foam roller, which is this guy right here. You basically just put all your weight on it, and you just roll out the area. I use it a lot on my legs, hamstrings, glutes, things like that, and you just let it kind of roll it back and forth, put that pressure on there, and basically it's like almost the same thing as a percussion massager, just a little more surface area, and just rolls out all of that good stuff. And yeah, it can be very painful at times, but it works wonders once it's done. It's just a big old piece of foam, but it gets the job done. So another thing that I use as well is this guy. Actually, I have 2 of them. I have this one that's made out of like rice pellet style thing. This is for heat. I put this in the microwave, it heats it up, and it's a heating pad, and I can put it on muscles that are sore and all that, and allow blood to go to the area. Also, another one that I have is made more out of clay, and that one I keep in the freezer, and it's a cold pad. So I'll put that one on me for the areas like like super sore, right after a workout or something like that. Do that to ice it, and then 24 hours later do this to get blood flow into the area. So it goes back and forth. It's a hot and cold therapy, but this is what the hot one looks like. The other one, like I said, made out of clay. And then I just throw that on whatever area I use it on. I use a lot of these on the joints though. A lot of like the the knees, ankles, stuff like that. I tend to be using a lot more of these stuff on. So that's that. I also do have a knee brace that I wear from time to time. My right knee can sometimes get inflamed. It just needs a little bit of extra support. And so sometimes after workouts and all that, when I'm walking around the apartment or just going to my day-to-day, I'll put on my knee brace and, just give myself some extra support as well too. And so that's another thing that I have as well that I use. And it works wonders. It's a copper fit one, so it's not expensive. It's very inexpensive, but it works great. It gives me added support throughout the day and allows that muscle to recover and just take some load off of it as well. Another thing too that I wanted to mention as well is that this is going to be the last week going forward to donate for Team for Kids. So if you haven't done so yet, I would appreciate if you would donate to Team for Kids. It would make me really happy, and also it's going to a good cause, helping out this charity that provides after school programs, helps kids and learn about running, helping give them the stuff that they need to live an active lifestyle, and it's just a great program overall. So it's something that I would highly encourage. If you haven't done so yet, please, the link is down in the description. Just whatever you can will help. Also, like I said in the previous videos, every $100 I will dedicate a mile to you. You can tell me what mile number you want. 4, 23, and 26 are already taken. But any others, just let me know. If you donate under 100, then you can sponsor part of a mile. Just let me know and I'll write it down. Like I said, 4, 23, and 26 are already taken, but there's 23 other miles that are still up for grabs. So just let me know, and it would mean a lot. Like I said, this is a good charity. It helps kids, women, and elderly. So I would appreciate it. The deadline for that is the end of the month. So anything will help. So yes, please, you can help me out. We're not that far out, about 6 weeks from the posting of this video till marathon day. November 5th is coming quick on us, and yeah, I'm excited, nervous, everything in between. So it's gonna be a good race. I'm hoping, trying to stay positive about it, trying to get mentally fit as well. Marathon, I always tell people it's like just as much physical as it is just as much mental. It's actually probably sometimes it's more mental than physical, because I know I can run the marathon. I've done it before. It's trying to keep your mind sane, because you go through a roller coaster of emotions when you're running a marathon. And it's hard to explain to people who haven't experienced it. I mean, the high of leaving the start line, everything you worked for, is a great feeling. It's also a very scary feeling, because it's like, okay, here comes everything I've put the past few months of working for. It's here, it's time to go. How is this gonna go? And you leave the start line, and the next 26 miles are ahead of you, and you're like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? You want to think about the end, but you have so much that's gonna happen in between there, and you just don't know what's gonna happen, and you're trying to already trying to plan ahead as to what will happen, but you can't, because you just gotta face what happened, what will come. And so you just gotta stay mentally strong and mentally fit, and that's what I try to do. Just get in a rhythm. Don't think of it as 26 miles. I think of it as a mile at a point. Okay, get to mile 1. Okay, 2, 3. So you're gonna go through that very initial, and then there's always that low where you've been running for so long and you have still so much more to go. After that, when you have so much more to go, it's like final 15 through 20, you're just like, oh, so many more miles to go. I already ran so much. So that's when you really got to dig deep. And at that point specifically, I try to think mile by mile. But the good thing about New York is that that's kind of when you hit Manhattan, and just hearing that crowd in Manhattan when you come off the Queensboro Bridge and you're just faced with that loud, roar down First Avenue. It's one of the most amazing and sights, and such an upbeat, spiritual, I don't know, it's a mood enhancer. You could be having the worst day, and just hearing that crowd, everyone cheering you on, you really want to push it there. And that's where you're like, oh, okay, I'm in it. Let's go. Let's do this. Especially after miles 15 and a half or so, 15 and 16 is that Queensboro Bridge. That's a very tall bridge. It's the second highest point on the race after the first mile when you're coming off the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. The Queensboro, you've just come out of Queens and having all these crowds, and then you go into like complete silence. You're just going up this bridge and everyone's just quiet. All you hear is the footsteps of the other runners and the breathing of the other runners, and it's awful going up that steep incline. But once you reach the top and you start coming back down, it's amazing. You start getting closer and closer to the end, and you start hearing that crowd starting to roar, and you feel that energy coming, like, okay, just come on, let's go. And then you come off Queensboro and you're down First Avenue, you make that turnaround, and it's just the wall of people, and they're just screaming on both sides of you. Everyone's cheering you on. It's amazing. Usually that's probably the second point I'll see my family. So it's cool to see them as well, get that encouragement. And this is where you're starting into like the real miles, and then you're like, okay, trying to dig deep, and you're shooting off into the Bronx at that point. And during the Bronx for like a mile or so, and it's just to like, get yourself acclimated, just be like, okay, I'm in the Bronx. It's kind of not really as busy up there. And then you come back down into Manhattan, back into Harlem area. And that's where it's a very cool cultural experience there as well. They start cheering you on, and then you come back down Fifth Avenue, back into Central Park, working your way towards Central Park South. And that's where the excitement of the finish starts building more and more on you. That's also where you're really having to dig deep, because at this point you're hurting, you're in pain, who knows what else is going through you. Mentally, you're just defeated, you're just done, but you have to try and tell yourself, like, I can do this. You've been running for a few hours already, and your body is just breaking down. You're feeling like you're wanting to breathe heavier. Like sometimes people feel like they can collapse. A lot of things can go wrong at this point. Like, it's a very dangerous part of the race, and this is when you start seeing people on the side cramping up, paramedics being more and more of a presence, and all that. I mean, people, I know, like last year when I was running this part of the races, when I was seeing people on the ground passing out just because of the heat and all that, and it was a lot more of the EMTs were having to help them out, and it was just a very, very real experience to let you know, like, yeah, this is something you don't take lightly. You can't just wake up and run a marathon, even though there's people who like to think that they can. The training is very important. If you don't, it will come back to bite you, and that's what I saw last year as well with people. So at this point, you're just trying to, like, okay, be mentally sound, and let's get finished done. Let's get it done. Listen to the crowd. Try not to think. Remember that pain is only temporary, and this time is forever, and you want to make it count. I always try to tell myself, like, in those situations, like, how disappointed am I going to be at myself if I decided, like, okay, I'm just going to walk down, or, oh, I'm just going to, like, take it easy now. Like, no, like, I'm going to be mad at myself, like, oh, I could have just pushed through for another couple of miles. I can just push through, just keep pushing through. And so I do that to myself a lot. Sometimes it might come back to bite me, if I injure myself or whatever. But with it being the New York Marathon, I mean, it's the race of the year for me. Like, it's everything I've been training for. I'm going to put everything on the line there and then go all out for it. So whatever happens. But I'm already starting to think of my plan about how am I going to approach the race, how am I going to go out, what part, since I've already ran it, I know the courses, so I know the course visually now as well too, like, okay, I know what to expect. So kind of planning out my strategy of that too. Okay, like, off that first mile, it's uphill. Don't go out too fast, because it's no reason to blow your energy that quick. It's very easy to get lost down in Brooklyn, going down that long straight, counting the miles and all that. Just try to stay in a rhythm and let the crowd carry you on. Queens, okay, what to expect there. Still try to reserve some energy, because you still have a long way to go, even though the crowds are getting more and more intense. Queensboro, how to approach that. that one I'm still kind of toying with that uphill and then downhill. And then Manhattan, let that crowd come into you and push you and take you to the finish. We'll take you into the Bronx, and then the Bronx, that mile 20 part where it's like, okay, this is where they consider it the true halfway point of a race, because that's the last 6 miles can really get you, and that's where you make or break your race. So really digging deep there and having to carry myself through that just for that mile or so, that 10-15 minutes it's going to take me to get through the Bronx and then back into Harlem. And once I'm in Harlem, let that crowd take you and just push myself to the finish, and take it one step at a time, mind over miles. And yeah, so it's surreal talking about it now. I mean, it's getting closer and closer. It's gonna be here before you know it, but we'll see. But how this goes, and I'm just excited. So yeah, now to the rest of the video.
Well, made it to Friday, made it to 28 years old. Who would have thought? But yeah, here this week has kind of been a weird week in terms of the training, and I already knew that going forward just because of the amount of times I was going to be going in and out of town, and just everything that I was going to have going on with my birthday as well. And like I said, going in and out of town, there's no true long run this week as far as a Saturday, because I'll be leaving in the morning, and then I'll be gone the weekend. So this week has been mostly just shorter runs and a lot of gym sessions, and I really haven't been videoing them just because this week is just a week that I needed to, just go out there and relax and not take a camera with me, and just, use it more as a way for me to, one, train, and also to unwind, because going to the gym and running is something that's very relaxing to me. It de-stresses my mind, and so that's what I've been doing. So that's why there's really no videos this week of it. I was at the gym last night, got back, did some work, and then this morning I was gonna go run, but just decided to take a rest and not really go run. So, but yeah, this week has been kind of in and out of running, and the same thing with the gym. We're gonna get back on track next week, but I still want to put out a video. This is more of an informational, like, let's talk video, and try to just let you know what's going on this week. And also the main thing as well too is that this is the last week for Team for Kids to donate. So if you haven't done so, you have till the end of the month of September, and it would mean a lot if you would. It's coming right around the corner. We're already about to enter into October here soon, and it's the next 2 weeks of training is probably gonna be the most important for me. It's where I'm gonna be logging my longest miles before I start tapering back down. And because before I'm gonna be getting on a plane to New York and going over there and trying to see what I can do this time around. Last year my calves were cramping up midway, and it just ruined my race, and I fought through it, but I wasn't happy with my time, and so I know what I could do, and I want to go back and prove myself. And I know when I've told people my time, they're like, oh, well, it's okay, like, you still ran, like, you finished it, that's the main point. And yes, that is true, but just knowing me, who I am as a person, I haven't really been happy with it all year. Like, it's been something that's been like, I tell people I ran the New York Marathon, but I don't like to say my time, just because, like, to me, it's a disappointment. I have a standard that I hold myself to when I run, and I didn't meet it, and so I'm not too happy with it. And it's just the competitor in me. It's just my natural self of how I like to try to be as good as I can, and that day I just wasn't. So I'm putting in the work right now to try to fix that and see what happens, but we'll find out November 5th what happens and how that goes. But it's coming quick, so that's why I'm putting in all the work right now, trying to get my nutrition right. This week is just kind of an off week, just trying to enjoy a little bit of fun before, like, I get back into the grind of it. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. Again, Team for Kids registrations ends this week, and yeah, well, I'm ready for New York. It's coming quick. I have to do a lot of shopping to get some clothes and all that for New York. I'm used to Texas weather. I gotta get some stuff for New York weather, especially since I gained some weight since last year. So yeah, I need some new clothes. But I'll be going shopping for that, trying to get everything done, and also trying to see if I can get a Team for Kids shirt. Right now I have the singlet, but I really don't like wearing singlets, so I want to try to see if I can get their shirt. I need to send some emails and see what I can do that. If not, I'm just going to wear my blue one on race day. And yeah, so that's pretty much gonna end it for this week. Like I said, it was a lot more of a talking video than seeing me going out and training and doing stuff like that. But it's a nice change of pace, and we'll get back on track with the regular type of videos next week. But with that, thank you, and I'll see y'all next week.